Hello and welcome to today's live conversation with one of our speakers from the Women Thrive Summit. My name is Rhonda Jan and I'll be hosting our special guest, Wanda Lovale. Hello, Wanda. How are you today?
Hey, I am great. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you joining from?
So I am from the land of cheesesteaks and soft pretzels, originally Philadelphia. I'm just a little bit right outside in South Jersey.
Oh, nice. Take me there. I'm all up for that. Wanda, I'm actually very excited to be talking to you today because you bring such a beautiful personality of joy and laughter. And I know you're serving introverted people in your industry. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I love when we get to share, we get to conversate. You always bring this beautiful energy of joy. So, to our audience, you're in for a treat if you're going to stick around. If you're joining this live right now or watching this on replay, put something in the comments below. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. And today we're talking about her voice, her way, the introverted woman's advantage in the coaching industry. Yes, yes, yes. And to be honest, personally, I always thought of myself as a bit of an introvert. So this is going to be a juicy conversation. And it might not seem like that, right? Because we seem like, hey, this big personality just comes and shines. But what hides behind all of that introversion magic?
Mhm.
So, I want to introduce you Wanda Lowell, who's a mindset and storytelling strategist, and she partners with introverted coaches and entrepreneurs to elevate their service based businesses. Together, she helps them bring their personal stories and life experiences for more visibility, dodging that content fatigue and growing on social media. So, she guides her clients to turn their unique voice into personality and personality into profits. Hey, I'm all up for that, Wanda.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit more about your story, how you got started, and what you're doing today.
So, first of all, for all the introverts in the room or joining, I want to tell you that this is your moment right now. Recently, when I've been at conferences and someone goes, "Hey, are there introverts in the room?" It's incredible. It seems like there's almost 50%, right, who are raising their hands in these spaces where they are coaches, they are entrepreneurs, they are creatives. And I think we're starting to kind of get like our strength and our confidence in who we are. So if you're here, I want you to stay tuned and like listen. You are really needed for this hour. So I love the fact that the joy. I keep hearing the joy. Ray just said this joy that comes from your personality, and most of the time, entrepreneurs. Ooh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I didn't realize that was on. That's the hubby. Real life, everybody.
That's
So
great.
I love the joy that Ray said that she sees in me. A lot of people see, and so
Mhm.
because I come across bubbly, and when I get excited about a topic, I'm like over the top. People often misconstrue that. No, you're not an introvert. You're probably an ambivert, or you might be like an extrovert who maybe you had some trauma. Nope, nope. Your girl's a total introvert. But one thing about introverts is when they know something or they're passionate, they're going to talk nonstop. When they are lit up about a project or a movement, you cannot stop them, right? They just keep on
Yeah.
moving and moving and moving because it excites them. Now, once the project is done, or once the speech is over, or the conversation is through, you may have a hard time finding them for about 24 hours to sometimes a week or two. Because they actually regenerate by being alone. They like to be with their thoughts. They like to be with outcomes. And so they're very result driven. And so, because they have a lot of mental energy, as they get around people and kind of share it, it goes down. So, I had to learn that about myself. For years, I had thought, because I was this quiet, reserved person, that being in the place of speaking, coaching, or training on a consistent basis really wasn't for me. I saw myself as like the girl Friday, like the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. You're doing everything behind the scenes because you're really good at it. And you make everybody look really good. So it's just like, well, that's where I need to be. And it wasn't until I realized that when I did grab the mic, or when I did lead a presentation, or I did spearhead a project, I was able to motivate and move people in a way that others couldn't. But I had bought in to this concept that, like, you're just a quiet one, you provide the ideas and the help, and someone else will take that leadership. And so that's what started for me. It took me a long time to get there, but it was somewhere around circa 2015, 2016, and I was like, yeah, this no longer works for me. I can have both. I
Yeah.
can be this introvert and still be this dynamic leader.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what's beautiful when we really start to embrace our unique personality and tap into our own magic, our own strengths. So if someone is watching and they thinking, "Oh my goodness, I am scared of showing up," or those particular social media channels or other platforms is just not for me. Like you would never find me speaking on stage or doing some of the things that I see Wanda is doing. How can you guide people through like embracing their magic, embracing their strengths, and still shining despite the challenges of, let's say, not wanting to be visible?
Well, one of the things I would tell them, and this sounds super cliche, but it is so true, it is identifying your why. And I mean, not a surface level, like getting really deep down. Why am I here? Why have I had these experiences? And why am I here to serve others with those outcomes that I've learned in those experiences? And I think often when we look at our life, we go, man, I wish I could tell someone about the time I mismanaged my money, or about the troubles in my marriage and how my husband and I navigated them. And there's so many things I can share. Why did I go through this? And what did I learn from it? When we are able to understand that why of many of the things in our life, we realize that our experiences and our lessons are stories that transform. And
Mm,
so for the introvert, because I believe they really have the capacity to really sit in the quiet of their thoughts and sit in the quiet of their experiences and analyze them deeply, they are kind of gifted to share at a deeper level what they're going through, and they make experts in like a one-to-one intimate setting. So if you are that person and you're like, I can't do this, you can, but there is a way for you to do it that feels good to you, right? And I think that's what people don't understand. They don't have to, get on TikTok and dance. They don't have to, stand up in front of people every single week and present.
yeah.
They don't have to do anything that they don't feel comfortable doing. It's finding that way to share your story and your experiences and your why that feels good to you. And when you do that, a light goes on in the inside, and you start to consider, like, hey, I think I can do this if I'm able to do it that way.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's just, it feels so good that it feels so aligned to do things in a way that lights you up. Wanda, what lights you up about the work that you're doing?
Oh man, it's like, I hate to say this. Well, maybe I don't, but it's almost like I'm going to embrace it and hold it. Like, I know that when a microphone gets in my hand, like, nobody can touch me. And to be able to say that from a place of strength and confidence, I couldn't do that years ago. And
Yeah.
I know there are other women who, like, when the microphone gets in their hand or they get in front of people, that they know that when they're in their genius, nobody can touch them. And so when I get in front of people, I love to tell these, mostly women these days, that when you get into your zone of genius and when you're sharing your big why and your message, there's nobody who can touch you. And that is part of the strength that's helped me even with my temperament. Knowing that when I get up here, I'm stepping into like superhero status. Like, I am like a superwoman, and I have something to share that nobody else can share in the way that I do. I'm coded for it. My DNA was created for it. The things I went through We're all about me doing this way because there's a people I'm called to. And that's what gives me courage to kind of bypass my weaknesses. Do I get the
Mm.
butterflies? Yeah. Do I feel like if I've been away from social media for a while, like, don't go back to doing that? Yes. But it is that power that you feel. And when you see that light go on in a woman's eyes, Ray, I know you've seen it, right? Like when you're talking and you start to see even like the breakthrough, the tears flow, that nod, that deep connection, they kind of pull in, it makes it so worth it. Like I feel like a power up, like in a video game. Like I've taken one of those power packs. And so that's what's lighting me up, and that's what makes me excited about coaching the women that I do.
Yeah, and I see that in you when you talk about things that you love and you get to express yourself. And I think this is one of the secrets, I guess, to the introvert's recipe is
Yeah.
do what lights you up because that's where you start to tap into your superpowers, right?
Yeah.
What has helped you discover your superpower? Was there a moment in your life that you felt you didn't know what were your superpower and what has helped you discover yours?
Well, definitely, it was a workplace injury that I had because I am a critical care nurse with my history and my profession, and also a woman in ministry. And it was during this time that I had this injury, and there was the threat that I would not be able to do this work anymore. And honestly, my family needed my financial support just as much as my husband. And so we were looking at our way of life changing, because I would have to do another type of nursing that there was a major pay cut. And so it was during that time that I looked and I was like, I'm doing all the things. I'm being the good girl, the good daughter, the good wife, the good sister, the great nurse for everybody. But now, if this goes away, what's my identity? Who am I really? What am I really doing? And it was in that I really started to look at my life. And I was like, I can't get up in here and teach and preach every Sunday and I'm not being authentic to this divine calling. God was like, I'm going to make your name great. I'm going to have your gifts make room for you. I'm going to touch your mouth when you speak. I've created you as like a repairer of the breach for my church people who may be following. That means that He's divinely created me to heal with my words and with my experiences. And here I am, just stuck in this one existence, this one identity or two identities, and not really showing up as this other woman that God created me to be. And that was the wake up call for me. Like,
Mm.
are you just going to work till you're 67 as a nurse and have a good job, a respectable career, and a decent living, right? Are you going to go and do a lot of the teaching? Now, I'm be very transparent. Do a lot of the teaching in ministry, but not live up to what you're preaching?
Mm.
Is that is that what you're going to do? And God's like, you're not going to do that on my watch because you're going to have to answer to me. And so that became the bigger thing that I knew that I had to answer to someone higher later on, and He was looking for a return on His investment.
Oh.
Of that rate, He was like, listen, I know that after this is off, look, I'm gonna be like, God, I did this and I did that. And I look, we were taking this world over. So that's what began to, I had fell into this deception, that this was what a woman was supposed to do. This is a good wife, and you have these limitations. And that was my wake up call.
Oh my god, that is just so powerful. Like, I had to answer that call. I see almost like so vividly you stepping into your purpose. And to some extent, it really takes the courage and leap of faith, right? Because this is something you've known your whole life. This is the identity you attach yourself to. But at the end of the day, there is bigger mission, bigger purpose, bigger calling. What was some of the, I guess, challenges you have had to overcome to step into that really aligned version of yourself?
Definitely for the quiet woman, you have to bring down your barriers around networking.
Mm.
If I had those barriers, I wouldn't be here speaking to beautiful Ray right now. And it's in community that you find your compass. It's in community that you find connection. Most of all, you find your courage there. I actually did a live stream on this.
Yeah.
I can borrow somebody else's courage when I bring down those barriers for connecting with people. And sometimes when we're a little bit more introspective, reflective, introverted, dealing with people can be a little bit of a drain, or we have a little bit of an apprehension just because we understand our own space. And limiting ourselves to people, we limit our opportunities to growth. So once again, this is where the Lord kind of talked to me, and he said, I did nothing in a silo. Even when I made all of creation, I said, let us, not let me. It was a team effort. I created you for community, and I created you for connection. And so it was in that that I learned, okay, back in 2016, big breath. I'm going to start attending events. Big breath. I'm going to invest in a coach. Big breath. I'm going to do what the coach says. Big breath. I'm going to connect with women who are like me and women who are not like me. And so that was it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh. It takes so much courage. It does. It takes overcoming yourself in a way, right?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times we put our own limitations on ourselves and we don't see the possibility because that's all we've known, right? We've only known our comfort zone. We only known like I can go that far, but what if you saw bigger possibilities?
Yeah.
And what you said earlier about surrounding yourself in a communities, places where you can borrow somebody else's confidence, you can borrow somebody else's belief and tap into it and then go a little step further, a little step,
Yes.
higher, and just see what's possible. What can you do when you step into that next version of yourself? So I'm definitely seeing that next version of Wanda right now, like fearless, right? You going after your dreams because this is what it takes. You
Mhm.
could well be still, in your previous job. You could still well be sitting there questioning your own greatness, questioning your purpose in this world, but you decided to make that leap. Yeah, it's scary, right? I'm sure it wasn't an easy leap, but you're doing it. And that's where the growth happens. You got to step into it. You
Yeah.
can't just what was that saying that you can't learn to drive if your car is sitting in park mode, right?
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
Oh, Wanda. Okay, so introverted woman's advantage in the coaching industry. What's the advantage? Like, I'm keen on getting that
Listen,
secret.
listen.
Oh,
Listen, I believe, and you're proving it, that in this next season or dispensation of our existence as humans, as we are getting more AI, right? There's more technology, and everything almost feels like it's cloned in a way. Like everybody's looking alike, saying the same things, right? A novice can grab some AI, some bots, and do something, and they'll look just as seasoned, as professional as someone who's been doing it for 20 years.
yeah.
But the one thing they can't do is create a community. They can't give thought leadership. And so the great thing about introverts is that they love that intimate connection, and they're not afraid to pull the layers back, and they don't necessarily like the numbers. They like the outcome. They like the meaning. So they're not kind of moved by a lot of the flashiness. They want to see the results. So in this coaching industry, so for the people like, I only want to do groups because I'm going to, make a lot of money really quickly and different things like that, where there are tons of people who just don't grow in groups based on temperament, but they want access to you, right? So if you're great with that, then one-to-one coaching isn't going to be a problem for you. And that's a high ticket service because they have so much access to you, right? They want more of you, more of you, more of you, and you're not afraid to give it because you're set for that. And also, you don't have the drive to do numbers like some of the more extroverted temperaments are. Like they're a little bit more now. I'm gotta say this. They're a little bit more vanity metric driven, right? And but for us, it's not. It's not that for us. It's like really the story. It's like I want to listen to you to understand you. I'm
Mm.
not listening to formulate a response so I can be heard. So I think that is one of the biggest advantages for the introvert woman in the coaching industry as we go forward. They're going to want more human contact. They want to feel
Mm.
seen and heard, and you're able to do it on an intimate level. And you
Yeah.
enjoy it. You thrive there.
Yeah, I love that. AI won't be able to replace the human connection and your essence. And I think, that's what you really display, your unique essence, your unique energy. And once people get to see that, don't hide your light. When people get to see and experience you, they will want more and you'll attract. And that's what I've learned. You'll attract like-minded people who appreciate that energy about you. I used to always think, I'm rather quiet, or the way I speak is soft. So I used to think, well, do I need to be a bit more than what I am? A number of times people come back to me and said, your tone of voice is so soothing. I
Yeah.
could sit there and listen. I used to do Clubhouse, and before, with Clubhouse, you have to just use audio. And that's the only sensory that people experience. And I used to feel some type of way about, my quietness or my tenderness in my voice. And people said, no, that's what I love about your voice.
Yeah.
And it made me appreciate that there is someone for everyone, and people will connect with you because of your own essence, but you don't have to be somebody that you're not. And that's the misconception, I think, around introverts, that you're expected to be somebody that you are not.
Mhm.
But I think your message here is like, embrace that, right?
Yeah.
Use it to your advantage.
Use it to your advantage. I want to say honestly, when we talked and I was looking to connect with you, that day I remember being like kind of in a flurry, like I was this morning. And as we talked, your voice and your presence helped me just kind of modulate right on down.
Mhm.
And it was a calm that you were just talking, okay, Wanda, yeah, we're going to do this. And it was just kind of I remember that day so clear, modulated me right on down. But if you think that you have to be the hype woman, you have to have this blood and guts story, you have to have some crazy, outlandish thing for people to buy into, some process that's never been heard of, you're all wrong.
Mm.
People want your everyday life, the life that you think is mundane and boring. That's exactly what they're still struggling with. Like those simple things. And they really don't want new hotness. They want the person that is able to do it and can do it in such a way that brings in peace, right? And so you're right, there's someone for everyone. And us quiet, soft, energetic, bubbly, however we present, we're
Yeah.
all needed.
Oh, that's just touching. So do you. I'm crying. I'm crying because I think this conversation right here is so liberating for people, and
Mhm.
it's so empowering. That's what I'm about. Like, empowering people in our space to be themselves.
Mhm.
That's what I want to do. And what you just shared is just so genuine, just so liberating for people who might be struggling,
Mhm.
thinking they have to be more than, they have to show up in a different way that they're not designed to be. And we
Yes.
don't have to do that.
Yeah. God made you perfect. He created you specifically the way you are, specifically. And so, got to shut out the noise from the world and know that you can do this. You can speak, because even though you're in your quiet place creating and thinking, we need access to your wisdom. So, if you're here, look, come to this summit, connect with Ray, connect with the beautiful women, and find community, find your compass, find your connection. Most of all, find your courage.
Yeah. Oh, Wanda, I love you. I appreciate you. I love what you do in this world, the empowerment for aspect of your work. Sharing this message, because I really think it's so important. When I still remember also when we first connected, and I remember your energy, I remember your mission, and I was like, I need to make sure that we carve out that space for introverts to shine, to know that they're valued, to know that they appreciate, to know that they can shine in their own greatness without the expectation of being anybody else that they already created to be. And that's why I wanted you on our summit, to be that example and someone who will be the voice for those who perhaps struggling to find their own.
Yeah. And it's doable.
Mm.
One of the things that I like to share with women is that there is a way to embrace this greatness that you feel on the inside without denying who you are. And you can walk both those worlds. One of the people I think about from the Bible historically is Deborah. And so Deborah, she was a judge, which in the Old Testament, she really was like a leader. She was guiding a group of people, yes, men and women and children. But she also was a mother. She also was a prophet, which means she spoke as an oracle for God. But oftentimes, she would execute her judgment and her decrees by sitting under a tree. She did it her way. Come over here. I'm sitting in this tree. I'm just enjoying life right now. What information do you need from me? What wisdom do you need from me? And so you can do this your way. You definitely can. And you don't have to sacrifice who you are to do it.
Love that. Oh, Wanda, we're going to get to hang out with you a lot more. So, if you're enjoying this conversation, I would love to invite you to be part of the Women Thrive Summit, which is one of the largest women empowerment events taking place virtually 18th to the 22nd of March. And Wanda is going to be delivering her full talk on this very same topic, her voice, her way, the introverted woman's advantage in the coaching industry. Wanda, what can people expect during your talk and during the summit?
Well, during the summit, you're definitely going to be exposed to amazing ladies. Some of them who, if you come and follow me over on my Power Place Now on IG, I've done some interviews with. They are some amazing women. So you're definitely going to have access to amazing women in business, amazing coaches, entrepreneurs, thought leaders. In my talk, I'm definitely going to give you some tips, 3 tips to walk away with on how to start showing up in your confidence and how to identify those strengths that you have as an introvert in the coaching industry, how to position yourself, how to pick the right platforms to be on, how to actually create content using the power of your story.
Mm.
Whew, when you use your story, you have endless content. You have endless ways to share. And when you share it, it kind of removes all that apprehension and that fear when it comes to maybe speaking or live streaming or actually, just going on and creating content on your own. That fear of judgment goes away because this is a lived experience for you. So your confidence is right there in your story. So we're going to be talking about those things, some tips for you to use so that you start to show up and make transformation happen for those who need you most right now.
I love that. So, ladies, do make sure you save your spot at the Women Thrive Summit and be there for Live Talk Live. So, Wanda's Talk Live. So, you can ask those questions, you can engage, you can be present, you can enjoy the beautiful energy, the connections that is going to be built. And of course, as Wanda just mentioned, follow her on Instagram. So, My Power Place Now is her IG handle, and connect with her. Send her a message. Just say, hey, I'm here thriving with you. I was inspired by this conversation. When is your talk? Connect with her.
Yes, my DMs are always open.
Yeah, I love that. I know we're running out of time here today. Thank you to all of you who've been tuning in for this incredible conversation. Please share this. If you feel inspired, share it with your own audience. You never know who might be needing this conversation right now. I wonder, before we leave, any last parting thoughts that you want to share with our audience today?
um, Learn how to do things your way. Your voice is impactful. It's unique. Like I said before,
Yeah.
you have a specific DNA for your tribe, and you may feel like other people are doing what you're doing, or it's too late, or you're too young. And I just want you to jump in. You're needed and you're necessary.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Wanda, for your beautiful presence, your message, sharing your wisdom, and being the example in this world of what is possible. I celebrate you stepping into your power and your purpose.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. To all of you watching, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Leave a comment below. Let us know you have watched this. And of course, I would love to see you at the Women Thrive Summit, which is our annual women empowerment event that happens every third week of March. And this is an opportunity for you not to be missed because this event is happening virtually, which means you can tap in from anywhere in the world. And it is happening live. So you can make those beautiful connections, find your community, be inspired, and most importantly, experience that true transformation as you listen to our incredible speakers. Thank you all so much for watching today, and we look forward to seeing you on another live. Take care for now. Bye. Thank you, Wanda.